I don't normally do unboxing videos, but this is such an unusual package I received. I thought I'd share it with you. Apparently, it came from somebody else's collection, and I purchased it from a store in Canada. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Okay, you see the first item we have here is by Playcraft Railways. Let's take a look. And we see here that it's a Playcraft engine, which also was made by Jouef of France. It's a nice example. It has the British Railway markings on it on each side. It also has both sets of driving rods. It even has a different coupler on the back. I already have one of these. You can see it in my video on my site, but it had a different coupler. It was missing one of the rods, and it didn't have the markings on it. So this is nice. So Jouef made these in the 1950s, and I think it's based on a U.S. Army 060 S100 tank engine. It's very similar to Emily. This is Bachmann's Emily, which is likewise based on the U.S. Army S100. Okay, we have here is a Hornby Duplo 7321 wind-up train. Hornby Duplo also released these in the 1950s. They came as a complete set, and the idea was they were a low-cost alternative to electric trains. This practice of having Clockwork and electric trains offered two separate product lines goes back to the beginnings of the 1900s. It uses the same track as an electric set, so the idea was if you bought this wind-up set and your kids really liked it, then you could always go out and buy a transformer and an electric locomotive and use it like as an electric set. So it's got a plastic coupler here on the back, and they're bundled two together, but they appear to be the same thing. The bottom one apparently was painted at one point. So, oh, they put a face on it, looks like. So these are the Hornby Duplo Clockwork engines. Okay. This is a Hornby Thomas the Tank engine. These came out in the 1990s, and they were unusual in that they were probably the last wind-up or clockwork trains as you could commercially purchase. Coming out in the 1990s, they also overlapped with when the first DCC trains came out. So the clockwork era, which began in the 1800s, lasted all the way into the DCC era because of these little Thomas Tank Engine line. Now this one is missing its funnel. However, I have this one. So the idea is if the clockwork mechanism, this one's fine. If I happen to damage the one in this one, I can use the mechanism out of this one. This is the one that really interested me. And it looks like the top has come off. I don't know if I did that unboxing it or if it was already like that. But it's obviously an English diesel shunter. It does have a number on it. And I don't know who made it. There's no markings on the bottom. It does have what they call the pizza cutter flanges on it. As do the Jouef engines. And the main problem with these is they don't like the frogs on switches and crossovers. They don't like railroad crossings, etc., etc. So I was hoping there'd be some markings on here, which helped me determine what it is. And looking in there, I can see the mainspring sticking out. That's why, one reason why I can't close it very well. But I don't know if, there we go. But I don't know if the spring is just unwound or if it's completely broken. But that's it. Anyway, it's an unusual engine. Now, as of before getting this package, I only had one key. So obviously, if I lost this one key, I'd be in trouble. I could wind up any of my Clockwork collection. This one also came with a nice selection of keys. This one looks like it's for a O gauge rather than O gauge. So I'll probably be giving it to a friend of mine. There's another one. And you probably heard, there's yet another key. So now I've got more than one key. This is apparently a tender. I don't think it goes to any of these. I'm not sure what it went to. It's got the same kind of coupler on the back as the Hornby ones. So I am not sure which one it belongs to. Once again, it's got the pizza cutter wheels, so it won't do very well on regular layout that's got switches and so on. Here we have another chassis, minus the body. There's no markings on it, so I am not sure what it is. If I had to guess, I'd say probably something in the Thomas line. As you can see, the chassis bottoms are very similar. Although I learned from another model not to make assumptions on that. But it does look like it's a Hornby Thomas chassis, and hopefully it's in running order as well. So here's another pair of the Hornby Duplo 7321s. This one is obviously missing its smokestack. This one doesn't have any connecting rods, but I'm imagining that this one does, so probably between the two of them, I could put together a complete example. So here we have another Jouef tank engine. It's got the same kind of coupler, and it's got both rods. It's still tracing the markings on one side, and it's gone on the other. This one I wasn't sure about. Let's see if there's any markings on it. Yeah, I don't see any markings where it's made. So I am not sure what it is. You can see it's the 1863. That appears to be from the factory, but it's like somebody wrote Mill Mirror 1 on top of it. But like the rest, it's got a plastic and metal chassis and a plastic body. Definitely English or European influence. But other than that, I have no idea what it is. So there we go. There's a complete collection. This is my only piece of Clockwork rolling stock besides the tender. And it's from a Small Worlds Clockwork train. And it is actually based on a Lima tank car. So there we go. And we'll have to check all these out and see if they work in another video. If you have any idea of what the diesel engine is, or this little red tank engine, please let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.